Morning
Yes,
to
sir,
you,
please.
good evening to the Indian brothers. Now let me start. The time allotted to me is only 30 minutes. It's a pleasure that all of you had made up your mind to listen the lecture with regard to the caste discrimination. Really fine. I wholeheartedly welcome to all the brothers. All of you are aware that on 26 January 1950, we accepted the Constitution. What Baba Sahib Ambedkar has said in a maiden speech on 25th, that is on 25th November 1949, when he presented the Constitution, Ambedkar has said, the basic structure of the Constitution is framed on a liberty, equality, and fraternity. This is the social democracy. The democracy has been defined, liberty, equality, and fraternity. All the three has to be interlinked. One cannot divorce the other because other two will have a supremacy over the other. Therefore, Ambedkar has said, while defining social democracy, these three should be interlinked. And when one cannot divorce the other two cannot divorce the one because it will take a supremacy over the other. With this context, while accepting the Constitution, Ambedkar has said on 26 November 1949, what has he said? On 26 January 1950, we are accepting the Constitution. We are accepting the Constitution above our creed. When the people of India try to place the creed and caste above the Constitution, the constitutional things will fail. If they try to place the Constitution above the caste and creed, the working of the Constitution will be a liberal. With this, we accepted the Constitution on 1950 and 26 January 1950, as you all of you are aware of this fact. Dear friends, the first judgment providing a reservation to the backward classes and the SC/STs was a landmark judgment which went against the SC/ST. In Madras government, they provided a reservation to the backward class, SC/STs, and other general category candidates. One lady by Champakam Doraraj, who challenged this before the Madras High Court, stating that providing a reservation to the backward class SC/ST, classifying the seats, it is an unconstitutional and is a communal. The Madras High Court has struck down that government order. Ultimately, matter went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has also affirmed the judgment of the Madras High Court. Why the Supreme Court has lost sight in reading Article 46? Article 46 of the Constitution says the state should promote the interest of the SC/ST, other backward classes, educationally, economically. The language is used in Article 46 of the Constitution of India. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court has negated the contention of Article 46 and upheld the judgment of the Madras High Court. During that time, Baba Sahib Ambedkar was alive. He felt really bad. The first reservation in education was introduced during his lifetime. That too, a first amendment was made to Article 15(4) of the Constitution by providing a reservation to the backward classes and SC/ST. This is most unfortunate. Imagine, on 26 January 1950, we accepted the Constitution, placing the Constitution above our creed. In the year before passing 1 year, that is in 1951, the first amendment was made. Like that, if you went on doing the judicial pronouncement and the atrocities made by the caste Hindus, reservation in appointment, reservation in promotions, lot of atrocities have been made. As and when the reservation in appointment and promotions is passed by the state government or the central governments, that GOs are a subject matter before the court of law. Really, friends, it's paining to say this. One case in Akhila Bharati Soshit Karmachari Sangha, which has been reported in the year 1981. There, when Jagjeevan Ram was the railway minister, he provided a reservation for the SC/ST people working in the railways. You will be astonished to hear the case before the Supreme Court when it was listed. The lawyers who represented the general category candidates, how they have canvassed the point is really penny. They say, look, my lord, the SC/STs are helpers. Now, by virtue of a reservation, now they have become the helpers, have now earned a promotion as a drivers. Because of this, most of the accidents in railways are taking place because of providing a reservation to the SC/ST. Look at the thing. Then, Honorable Justice, who was in the bench, Justice Krishna Iyer, really is a democratic judge. He posed a question to the advocate, and that has been reflected in the judgment. He says that if the reservation is not provided to the SC/ST, will you mean to say all accidents in railways take a long leave? Look at the approach of Honorable Justice Krishna Iyer. Then it was negated. Dear friends, thereafter, when the reservation in promotions was made, as you are aware that in Mandal Commission judgment, proportionate to the population, reservation has to have been made. Then the central government has provided a reservation, enhancing the reservation to the backward class, where in Mandal Commission, enhancing the reservation was the subject matter. There was no question with relating to the providing a reservation in promotion to the SC/ST. It was not a subject matter at all. It was purely dealing with the matter pertaining to the backward classes. When the matter was listed before the court, what Justice Ramaswamy has observed is the counsel for the petitioner and the counsel for appearing for the Union of India has nodded their head, and they have referred the matter to the Constitution bench. Notwithstanding the fact earlier there was a judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Thomas versus State of Kerala, where it was dealt by 5 judges. The matter was referred to 9 judges in Indira Sahni's case. In Indira Sahni's case, reservation in promotion was not a subject matter at all, because the SC/STs were not made a party there. Unfortunately, Supreme Court has dealt that reservation in appointment is permissible. However, the reservation in promotion is not permissible. If the state is already following the reservation, they may continue for another 5 years. Very Honorable Supreme Court in the case of in the Southern Railways versus Rangachari, way back in 1962, the Supreme Court has said reservation in appointment is not confined to only appointment, it also confined to promotions also. The reservation appointment definition, what the Supreme Court has said, it closed the reservation in promotion. Look at the attitude of the Supreme Court and look at the attitude of the persons who have accepted the Constitution. They say reservation in promotion is not at all permissible. Because of this, then government was compelled to amend Article 16(4)(a), providing reservation to the SC/STs to any class or any post. Dear friends, though Constitution provides reservation to any class or any post, unfortunately in India, the reservation is promotion is confined only to Article 16, only to junior classmen, not above that. When the Constitution provides for reservation to any class or any post, even up to the level of Chief Secretary, the reservation can be provided if you read the Constitution, Article 16(4). However, the executive orders confine only to junior classmen. Why I am emphasizing this? Because the caste system in India is, Indian minds are ingrained with the caste system. I think most of our friends are aware, when Baba Sahib Ambedkar has put up a note in the Simons Commission's report, he has forwarded a note on 1st May 1932. What Ambedkar has said, practicing an untouchability is Hindus' religious right. I repeat, Practicing an untouchability is Hindu's religious right. Not practicing is Hindu's religious sin. As all of us are aware that in Varnashrama, caste system is like a pyramid. It has become a flexible. It cannot be removed. Many reforms have come forward and they fought for the reformation of the untouchability. Unfortunately, none of them have touched the main system of casteism in India. Baba Sahib Ambedkar time and again has said, caste system in India is in hard crust. Recently, in the case of Punit Raj versus Union of India, Supreme Court has said, Indian minds are ingrained with the caste system. Indian minds are ingrained with the caste system. It plays a vital role in all these spheres, not only in employment, education. It's really, in the span of 31 years as an experience in the bar, I will tell you, whenever the persons of SC, STs are eligible to be promoted, their CRs are spoiled. How they are going to spoil that? Though the SC, STs are working hard and they are earning laurels, that will not be entered in this their service register. They say that capability of shouldering the responsibility of the work, they say this man is indifferent. Sometimes the CRs will not be written solely on the ground that these people will going to occupy the higher hierarchy in the government post. Therefore, they write an adverse remarks on them. This will be subject matter before the court of law. It takes some time. After that, if they succeed, look at the fate of the SC, STs, notwithstanding the fact that they are meritorious, because their horoscope is in the hands of the caste Hindus who are their higher officers. Their horoscope of the service registers are spoiled and they will not go into earn promotions. When they are the subject matter before the court of law, the court will struck down the order passed by the higher ups. And what would be the consequence and the humiliation which the people, the SC, STs people have undergone from the day when they have denied the reservation till they succeed in the court of law. These humiliation which they have underwent, unfortunately, under the Prevention of the Atrocities Act, there is no provision to punish the officers who are responsible for spoiling the things. That's why in Akhila Bharati Soshit Karmachari Sangha, what the Supreme Court has observed was, Justice O. Chinnappa Reddy has said, sky has limit, ocean has got limit, even the jails has got limit. As per the atrocities on the SC, STs are concerned, there are no meets and bounds. This is the fate of the Indians. When we are looking at the cases where John Dock's cases, it's really a pleasure that the black people have joined together and fought for the justice of these men. If it were to be really, the matter has been posted before the Indian, listed before the in the Indian soil, they would have given a color to that, saying that it not with an intention it has been uncertain, it has been accidentally it has been done, or some or the other diversion, they would have diverted this issue and diluted these cases. India should learn from the Supreme Courts of other countries where they have no caste bias at all. My friend who was earlier was spoken on the judicial system. I would like to draw the attention of my brothers. Way back in 1999 and 2000, the Ministry of Law and Justice Parliamentary Affairs, headed by Kariya Munda, an MP, has formed a committee for the welfare of SC, STs in judiciary. There they have submitted a report how the Indian judiciary is functioning. There what we can see is judges are drawn from the well-to-do families. The most of the posts which is occupied by the Supreme Court and the High Courts, they're all anti-SC, STs. For your kind information, sir, what they say, the committee report was placed before both the houses presented on Lok Sabha on 15/3/2000 and before the Rajya Sabha on 15/3/2000. There, the committee has recommended to amend the constitution providing a reservation in the judicial system. Unfortunately, either two, our parliamentarians have not taken any steps to amend the constitution. In the report, it says, when the judges are drawn from the well-to-do family, their forefathers were biased against the SC/STs. Their offspring are sitting as the judges of the court. What best that we can expect from them? Invariably, when they are passing the judgment will be reflected what they carry there in their heart by their forefathers. In some cases, for your kind informations, case like a Shabarwalas or in a Mali's case, when Union of India has pleaded the Solicitor Generals to appear on behalf of the Union of India to defend the cases, though the Solicitor Generals have assured that they will going to appear, they failed to appear before the court when the matter is listed. Therefore, what the committee has recommended in the report was, unless a suitable and experienced advocate from the SC/STs are not appointed to defend the cases before the Supreme Court, the people will not, with the SC/STs, people will not go into justice, will get a fair justice in the court of law. Therefore, what the committee has recommended, appoint a councils who are well experienced among the SC/STs to defend the cases before the Supreme Court. In my experience, as the introducer has already said, that I have been practicing before the High Court and also the Karnataka Administrative Tribunal. A lot of cases has been cropped up wherein a similarity of spelling, phonetic spelling, most of the caste Hindus, like Brahmin, Kshatriyas, and the Lingais, they have taken a certificate claiming that they belong to scheduled caste, particularly the untouchable communities. One example I would like to cite is, there is a caste called Maleru in Karnataka. Maleru means people who are residing in a hilly area. Another caste goes by a same phonetic spelling called Maleru. They are an outcasted Brahmins. Because of the phonetic spelling, right from 1950 till 2004, they were enjoying the benefit meant for the STs. As an advocate, I made a hue and cry before the then ruling government and said, look, the people which has been meant for the reservation, meant for the genuine SC/STs, as knocked away by the unscrupulous persons because of the various circular passed by the government in order to woo the vote banks of these non-SC/STs. Therefore, put in a full stop to that. Appoint a one-man commission to weed out all bogus caste certificate cases. Then, after they remove them from the service, kindly fill up these vacancies as a backlog vacancies to the respective categories. Dear friends, on 11/3/2002 GO, this 11/3/2002, the state government of Karnataka has passed an order saying that some communities which do not belong to the scheduled tribes, thenceforth they have to surrender their certificate forthwith and they have to go back to their respective caste. Government, instead of doing a wonder thing, Article 46 provide the state government to protect the interest of the SC/STs from all sort of exploitation. What Constitution says under Article 46. The last line of the Constitution in Article 46 says that it is a duty of the state government to protect the interest of the SC/STs from all sorts of exploitation. Though a duty has been cast on the state government, look at the unfortunate act of the state government, our Karnataka state. They passed an order where treating the non-scheduled tribe candidates as in a scheduled tribe till 11/3/2002, and they have called upon the non-ST people to go the respective category. Unfortunately, though this order has been passed, this was the subject matter before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, the Brahmins people have challenged it before the Supreme Court and said, since we are outcasted scheduled tribe, we alone are scheduled tribe, there is no caste called Maleru. Because of the phonetic spelling, they misled the Supreme Court and said, there is no caste called Maleru. Because of their submission, the matter was referred by the Supreme Court to the National Commission Scheduled Tribe. I, in the capacity of an advocate, appeared on behalf of the Kendra Sahitya Academy, and I argued before the Supreme Court right from 1881, the first census which took place in India, till the last census. I placed it before the court of the National Commission, and I have brought to the notice of the National Commission that Malero means a tribe which has been notified as a scheduled tribe under Article 342 of the Constitution of India. Whereas the Maleru, who are an outcasted Brahmin, a Brahmin lady having led the adultery life, children born out of them are called Maleru. Their social status in the society is like that of a Brahminist. How can the Brahmin can take away the reservation meant to the scheduled tribe? After hearing my argument, the National Commission has given a beautiful report stating that these people are by no means they are scheduled tribe. Dear friends, in the case of Kailas versus State of Maharashtra, what the Supreme Court has said, the injustice done to the scheduled tribe in the black chapter of Indian history. Referring to the Ekalavya's case, Justice Kadju has said, look at the man who is not taught by his guru. The guru, after recognizing his meritorious service in the arch, guru called upon the Ekalavya to give up his left thumb. Can that be called as a kanike by a guru? That's what the Supreme Court has said. Supreme Court has observed that the injustice done to the scheduled tribe, the black chapter of Indian history. Similarly, in the case of a scheduled caste, a Jangama is a priestly caste among the Lingai. They claim that we belong to Beda Jangama. Beda Jangama, which is notified as a scheduled caste. Jangama is a priestly caste among the Lingais. In order to imitate the Brahmins, they have found out a caste called Jangama among the Lingais, which is a priestly caste. Unfortunately, because of the phonetic spelling Jangama, they want to add Beda in front of that, and they're robbing the reservation scheduled caste. My friends, it is sorry to say, one of the former ministers who belongs to a Lingayat community, his elder brothers come before the courts and pose a question. Look, I belong to a Beda Jangama community because my profession, my ancestor professional is begging. We are experts in spiritual activities like burying the dead bodies. Therefore, give us a reservation as an ST. I, as a special counsel, was called upon to argue the matter. Then the judge was rather inclined to accept my argument, and he was supporting the other side person. I posed a question to the Honorable Judge. Sir, his brother, who happened to be a former minister and the present MLA, he claimed that he is a Jangama. How could this person can call me a Beda Jangama? The judge was asking, oh, you are posing such a question. What is your stand? I was forced to submit that. Could there be two different caste children to a particular father? Then the judge realized the submission and said, you say that his elder brother is a Lingai, Jangama, and his younger brother want to claim that he belongs to a Beda Jangama. Then outrightly, he rejected the petitioner claim. Like this, there are a lot of cases. The Kshatriyas want to take a certificate claiming that they belong to Kabla. Kotegara Mitri, where it says that Kotegara Mitri means a person who does a cobbling in the fort is called a Kotegara Mitri. Kotegara means they are the soldiers. During the Buddha's Nagas ruling, these Kotegaras were called from central Goa to guard the fort in Chitradurga, which is in a Chitradurga district in the state of Mysore. There, these people started claiming that we belong to a scheduled caste, Kotegara. When we raised the question before the government, as I said earlier, 11/3/2002 GO came to be issued. Thereafter, on the same line, the government, in order to woo the vote bank of the general category candidate and deceive the untouchables, they passed another order protecting the interest of the general category, backward class categories in the general category candidates who have taken a certificate as an SC. And they said, Look, thenceforth you are treated as a general category candidates. Friends, it is really pain to say thousands of caste certificate has been obtained. On the strength of that certificate, so many have become an officers, bank officers. So many have become a judicial officers, a district judges. So many have become IPS officers. Some of them have become an IS officers. Because of that GO, where the state government has protected the interest of the SC/ST, protected the interest of the non-SC/STs, and denying the rights of the SC/STs. State government has not taken any steps to fill up that vacancies either too. I fought that case before the Supreme Court and as well as the High Court, stating that the state government has no power to tinker the constitution. A person who was born as a scheduled caste, the moment when the baby oozed out of the mother womb, till that baby goes to the graveyard, the child is referred with reference to this father caste, and he cannot be referred with the government order that he is born to a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe. Therefore, I said the state government has no business to tinker the constitution. The various high court like Gulbarga High Court and the Karnataka High Court and also the circuit bench of Dharwad has said that the state government has no power to tinker the constitution. Ultimately, after a long tenure, they lost the case. Why I am telling this is, whenever the SC/ST persons are likely to be promoted to the post of in a judicial department or various departments, looking at the age that this man will going to occupy the higher echelon in the state service or in the central service, their service register are adversely affected by writing an adverse remarks on this, saying that this man is not shouldering the responsibility of the work which has been entrusted to him. Or sometimes they say that the man's approach towards the higher officer is indifference. Because of this, most of the SC/ST people, their prospects have been influenced by the caste Hindus in all spheres. Similarly, in the case of wherein the technicians and the medical students, where their progress is high, only with an order to curtail that this man will going to occupy the highest post and secure the higher marks. We have seen that in higher educations, where there is a practical marks. In practical marks, if they found that these boys are belong to the SC/ST, they will not going to award higher marks. Deliberately, they deceive these SC/ST people. I have fought so many cases before the High Court of Karnataka, where the indifference approach of the caste Hindus has been reflected while awarding the marks. When the court has called upon to see the marks, tallying with the other persons of the general category candidates, our students have fared well in the examination. Notwithstanding this fact, these have been deceived by awarding the less marks to the SC/ST candidate. Therefore, people say that untouchability is abolished after introduction of Article 17 of the Constitution of India. My submission to my friend circle is, Constitution has abolished under Article 17. Abolition of untouchability is very much on the paper. It has not come as reality. Abolition of untouchability is very much on the lips, and it is not abolished on its reality. By looking at the statistics of the atrocities made on the SC/STs, denial of promotion, denial of appointment to the SC/ST, does it not constitute atrocities on the SC/ST? Does it not constitute a practicing an untouchability against the SC/STs? Our politicians, as Baba Sahib Ambedkar has said, why Ambedkar was insisting to have a dual elected members to send to the parliament, because if our members are sent there, invariably they have to redress our grievances in the parliament or in the state assemblies. Because of Gandhi's intervention, Pune Pact has emerged. In Pune Pact, Baba Sahib Ambedkar has signed this with a broken heart, that though he is not interested to sign that, circumstances compelled him to sign. Therefore, he has signed that Pune Pact. While signing this, after signing this Pune Pact in 1942, I think, yes, the British broadcast people have intruded. The British broadcast people have posed a question, why were you asking a separate electorate for the SC/STs? Ambedkar has plainly answered it. Look, if our leaders are elected from our own community, our grievances will be redressed in the proper forum so that our grievances can be heard, a solution can be found there. If our leaders are elected from the respective parties, obviously they will become slaves in the hands of the respective parties and they will not going to redress our grievances. The same thing so happened to the many of the politicians, though they are qualified to become a chief ministers, because of the caste system, they have not occupied the post of the chief minister. In so many cases it's happened. As all of you are aware that when Babu Jagjivan Ram was qualified to become a Prime Minister of India, a backward class man called Charan Singh has said, "Ek chammar ye desh ka pradhan mantri nahi ban sakega." Look at the caste system, how it has prevailed. So, caste system is in every arena. It is not that in one sphere, even in judiciary, public administration, employment, education, and even in all sphere, even in a day-to-day life. For your kind information, as my friend has rightly pointed out, whenever they want a house to be stayed at, the house owner will put the board that house to let, but only for other communities other than SC/STs. Is it not the fact that the caste system is still prevailing? What Baba Sahib Ambedkar has said long back, that practicing an untouchability is Hindu's religious right, not practicing in Hindu's religious right. What more is required for all of us? Why the Indian people are not opening their mind? Though we passed 70 years after accepting the constitution, still our people in the villages, when we go back to their villages, they look with reference to the caste. I have given one report to the state government recently, where our higher officers have become and the SC/ST people have occupied the higher post. Long back in Kaka Kalerkar report, Kaka Kalerkar has said, if a Brahmin does a cobbling work, he will never become a cobbler. Similarly, if a cobbler chant the mantras and Vedas, people will not accept him as a Brahmin. This is the fate of our people.